My name is Ethan Collins, 24, the kind of guy people forget in a crowd. Quiet, careful, raised to believe love is something that happens slowly, like sunrise. But the night I met Ava Ramirez, love didn't rise. It struck. I first saw her at a rooftop charity event organized by my best friend, Leo, the loud, charming, golden boy type who could make strangers laugh in seconds. I was only there because he forced me, claiming I needed to touch grass and meet actual humans. The city lights flickered behind her like they belonged to her. Ava stood by the railing, black dress, messy curls, a glass of red wine held too elegantly for someone her age. She wasn't smiling, but there was something dangerous in her stillness, like the quiet before a storm. She noticed me staring. Instead of looking away, she smirked. "You look like you're trying to solve a murder," she said. "I'm just taking in the view," I replied, sounding dumber than I meant to. "Funny," she whispered, walking closer. "I was thinking the same about you. I should have been suspicious. Girls like Ava don't flirt with guys like me. But logic melts when someone like her looks at you like you're worth looking at." As we talked, she revealed micro pieces of her life. She worked in real estate, lived alone, didn't trust people easily, and hated lies more than anything. Her eyes lingered on mine, searching, analyzing, testing me. When Leo walked over and casually wrapped an arm around my shoulder, Ava's expression shifted, just slightly. A flash of recognition, and something colder. It vanished in seconds. Leo gave her that signature grin. Well, you've met Ava," he said. "Ethan's harmless. He might actually be the only innocent human left." Ava raised a brow. "Innocent? He doesn't look innocent to me." She said it with a tone that shouldn't have made my heartbeat spike, but it did. When she walked away to take a call, Leo leaned in. "She's trouble," he whispered. "You know her?" He looked away. "Everyone knows her. Just don't fall for her." I laughed. "I just met her." Leo didn't laugh back. Later that night, she found me again, on purpose, and said quietly, "People will tell you stories about me. They always do. Don't believe them." The rooftop wind got colder. Her eyes held something painful, something unspoken. "What kind of stories?" I asked. She hesitated for a fraction of a second. "The kind designed to keep you away from me." And then she walked off into the night, leaving me with nothing but questions and a heart moving too fast for its own good. I didn't know it then, but those warnings weren't arguments. They were prophecies. And I was already doomed. Ava and I started seeing each other without planning to. It began with small things, late-night texts, quick coffees before work, accidental touches that didn't feel accidental. I kept telling myself I wasn't falling, but my body and heart weren't listening. She had this strange way of talking, carefully, like every word was chosen. Emotionally, like she wanted to say more but held it inside. Dangerously, like she'd lived a life full of sharp edges. One evening, after a long shift at my dead-end accounting job, I found her waiting outside the building, leaning on her car. "Get in," she smiled. "You look like you need a break." We drove until the city thinned into empty roads, and she parked near a quiet lake, the kind of place people go to confess things or bury them. We sat on the hood of her car, watching water ripple under the moonlight. "I like this," I said. "Being with me," she teased, "or the silence." "Both." For the first time, she smiled like she meant it. But moments later, her phone buzzed, 3 times, urgently. She turned it face down fast, too fast, pretending she didn't care. But her jaw tightened. "Who is it?" I asked casually. "No one," she whispered. I didn't believe her. She knew I didn't believe her. But neither of us said anything. Instead, she rested her head on my shoulder. "I hope you don't get tired of me," she murmured. "Why would I? People usually do." Her voice cracked. Just a little. We stayed like that for a while, pretending things were simple. But the next day, the first real crack appeared. At work, Leo stormed into my cubicle with a face that showed too many emotions at once. Anger, worry, fear. "We need to talk," he said. "About what?" "Ava." My chest tightened. "What about her?" He ran a hand through his hair, pacing. "Ethan, she's not who you think she is." I laughed it off. "You told me she was trouble." "I know." "No," he said sharply. "You don't know anything." His tone froze me. "What are you trying to say?" Leo looked around, lowered his voice. "Just stop meeting her." "Why?" "Because." He stopped, swallowed the rest of the sentence, and shook his head. "What aren't you telling me, Leo?" I demanded. He hesitated so long I could hear my heartbeat. Finally, he said one thing. I've been hurt by her too. The room felt smaller. Colder. Hurt how? I whispered. He stepped back. I can't. I'm not ready to talk about it. But trust me, walk away while you still can. I stared at him, feeling betrayed, confused, irritated, but mostly scared. Because Leo wasn't the kind of guy who feared anyone. And if Ava scared him, what was I getting myself into? For the next few days, the world felt split in two. One half was Ava, magnetic, intoxicating, impossible to resist. The other half was Leo's warning echoing in my mind like a siren that wouldn't turn off. But desire is louder than caution. Especially when someone like Ava looks at you like you're the only person who ever understood her. I didn't walk away. I walked deeper. A week later, Ava called and said, let's do something normal. Dinner, just us. I agreed, because any time with her felt like a piece of a dream. She picked a quiet restaurant. Dim lights, golden walls, tables too close together. People whispered there, like everyone had secrets. She wore a midnight blue dress, hair tied loosely, eyes sharp and unreadable. You look nervous, she commented. I'm just thinking. About Leo, she guessed instantly. I froze. How do you? She smiled, too calmly. Men like Leo always say the same things about me. What things? That I ruin lives. She shrugged. That I lie. That I manipulate. That I make people fall too hard. A shadow crossed her face, the kind of pain someone carries for years. Is any of that true? I whispered. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she reached across the table, touched my hand lightly. Do you think it's true? Her touch confused my brain. Her eyes softened my doubts. And my heart, my stupid heart, chose her side without evidence. No, I said. I don't. Her smile returned, but it wasn't joy. It was relief. Deep, desperate relief. I didn't know why she needed that relief, or what it meant. Halfway through dinner, she excused herself to the restroom. I wasn't proud of what I did next. Her phone buzzed on the table again. That same 3-buzz pattern I'd heard by the lake. The screen lit up with a preview. We need to talk. You can't keep him in this. From LR. My blood went cold. LR. Leo Rivera. My best friend. My stomach twisted. Why was Leo texting her? And what did keep him in this mean? A minute later, Ava returned, saw the phone turn slightly, saw my expression, and instantly understood. You looked at it, she said quietly. Ava, what is this? Nothing. That wasn't nothing. Her eyes hardened, shutters slamming down. Leo is a liar, she said sharply. He said you heard him. I shot back. Ava froze, like I slapped her. The entire restaurant blurred around us. He told you that? She whispered. Yes. She sank into her seat, covering her mouth. That's not how it happened. How did it happen? I demanded. Her lips trembled. I can't tell you. Not yet. Ava, you have to trust me, she pleaded. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But between the texts, the secrecy, the warnings, something wasn't lining up. Just give me time, she whispered. I'll explain everything. I didn't know it then, but that night was the first time she ever lied to me. Not the last. I tried giving Ava time. I tried pretending nothing was wrong. But once doubt enters a relationship, it grows like a crack in glass. Slow at first, then all at once. 2 days passed. Ava didn't explain. Leo didn't speak to me. And I felt trapped between two people who both claimed to care, yet were hiding things from me. I needed answers. Even if it meant breaking someone's trust. On Friday, I went to see Leo. His apartment was a mess. Bottles on the table, curtains closed, room smelling of stress and regret. He looked at me like he hadn't slept in days. You came, he said quietly. We need to talk, I replied. He sat down, rubbing his eyes. About Ava, right? Of course. Leo, what happened between you two? At first, he didn't respond. He just stared at a spot on the floor, breathing unevenly. Finally, he said, she broke me, Ethan. She made me trust her, then destroyed everything. My blood chilled. What do you mean? He laughed, but it wasn't a happy sound. She played two people at once. Me, and my cousin Marco. I blinked. What? He nodded weakly. She was seeing us both. Telling each of us we were the only one. Manipulating. Lying. Using emotions like weapons. I felt something inside me crack. But why would she? Because she gets something out of it, Leo said bitterly. Attention. Control. Worship. You think she's doing that to me? Leo looked at me with eyes full of pity. She's already doing it, Ethan. I stood up, pacing, unable to breathe properly. You're wrong, I muttered. No, he said sadly. I wish I was. He got up, walked to a drawer, and pulled out a small black notebook. My heartbeat slowed. What's that? Ava's, Leo whispered. She left it in my apartment months ago. My hands trembled as he passed it to me. You should read it. I didn't want to open it. I didn't want to see something that would ruin everything. But curiosity, betrayal, fear, all of it pushed me. The pages were full of names, dates, details, people Ava had gotten close to, people she'd pushed away, people she'd studied. And then, I found Leo's name. Marcos. Circled. Notes scribbled around them. And finally, my name. Ethan Collins, written in careful handwriting. Below it, quiet, loyal, easy to earn trust, needs affection, will fall fast. I felt my soul leave my body. Below that, a line in darker ink. Don't get too attached. Don't repeat past mistakes. I couldn't breathe. I wanted to scream, cry, punch a wall, or disappear. But behind all the shock, one question burned. Why was my name in a list like this? What was I to her, a project? A game? A replacement for Leo? A lesson she wanted to rewrite? I closed the notebook, shaking. Where did she get this? I whispered. Leo swallowed. She's been doing this for years. The room tilted. My vision blurred. My heart felt like it was breaking in slow motion. Because I didn't want to believe Leo. I didn't want to believe this notebook. I didn't want to believe Ava was capable of this. But the truth was staring at me, written in her own handwriting. I didn't sleep that night. Every word in Ava's notebook kept looping in my mind like a nightmare I couldn't wake from. Easy to earn trust. Will fall fast. Don't get too attached. Was that really how she saw me? As a weakness she could predict. Not a person she could love? By morning, I made a decision. I needed answers from her, directly. No running. No excuses. No secrets. So I asked her to meet me at her apartment. She opened the door wearing a soft gray sweater, hair tied back, eyes calm. Too calm. You look like something's wrong, she said slowly. I stepped inside, closed the door behind me, and placed the notebook on her table. Her face drained of color instantly. Ava, I whispered, what is this? She didn't speak. She didn't blink. She didn't even try to defend herself. Instead, she sat down, as if she had been expecting this moment all along. Where did you get it? She asked quietly. Leo gave it to me. Her jaw clenched. Of course he did. Ava, I said, my throat tight. Explain. Please. She stared at the notebook like it was a ghost she couldn't exorcise. Then she whispered, do you really want to know everything? Yes. She took a deep breath, and the truth began pouring out. That notebook, it started as therapy. I frowned. Therapy. She nodded slowly. I was in a toxic relationship years ago. He turned me into someone I didn't recognize, paranoid, insecure, terrified of being abandoned. My therapist told me to study people before trusting them, to understand patterns, to protect myself. I sank into a chair, trying to process her words. So these notes, they're not games? No, she snapped, nearly breaking. They were warnings to myself. Reminders. Because when I love someone, I love too fast and too blindly. And every time, I get destroyed. Her eyes softened. Her voice cracked. Ethan, I wasn't lying when I said I have trouble trusting people. But Leo? I challenged. Marco? Were they part of this? Therapy too? She closed her eyes. That was my mistake, she whispered. I was careless. I was hurting. I was trying to be loved by someone, anyone, because I felt empty. And now me? I said bitterly. She flinched as if stabbed. No, she got up, walked closer, tears in her eyes. You're different. Then why am I in the notebook? To remind myself not to repeat the same pattern, she whispered. Not to hurt you. Not to lose control. Not to fall in the same trap. Trap. I echoed, voice breaking. Falling too hard, she breathed. I didn't know what to say. My heart was torn between believing her and remembering what I saw. She touched my hand gently. I didn't approach you with bad intentions, Ethan. You were kind. Pure. You made me feel safe. Then why didn't you tell me about Leo? I was ashamed, she said. He wasn't innocent. He used me when I was vulnerable. When I ended things, he couldn't handle it. So he made me the villain. My mind was spiraling. Half of me wanted to hug her. Half wanted to run. You should have told me, I said shakily. I know, she cried. I'm sorry. I was scared of losing you. She grabbed my face, eyes burning. I love you, Ethan. I love you more than I thought I could ever love someone again. For a moment, I believed her. For a moment, everything made sense. For a moment, the world stopped hurting. I kissed her forehead, whispering, I just need time. She nodded, already crying. I'll wait. I'll wait forever if I have to. I left her apartment with a heart full of confusion, but also hope. Maybe everything could still be okay. Maybe love could still win. But hope is fragile, and betrayal doesn't stay buried forever. Because that night, I discovered the one thing Ava didn't confess. The one thing she didn't meant to slip. And it changed everything. When I left Ava's apartment, I felt like I was floating between two worlds. One where she was the woman I loved, and one where she was the woman Leo warned me about. I needed distance, clarity, something real to hold on to. But the truth didn't come from some dramatic confrontation. It didn't come from Leo. It didn't come from a hidden message or a mysterious clue. It came from a mistake. Ava's mistake. A mistake so small, yet deadly enough to shatter every illusion I had left. That night, I couldn't sleep. My brain was running circles around every word she said. Every tear. Every explanation. Every promise. I kept telling myself, maybe she's telling the truth. Maybe Leo exaggerated. Maybe the notebook wasn't what I thought. Around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed. Ava, did you get home safe? Ava, please don't shut me out. Ava, I'm losing my mind thinking about you. I stared at her messages, torn between replying and staying silent. Before I could decide, another notification came. A photo message. From Ava. At first, I thought it was meant for me. Until I opened it. It wasn't a picture of her. It wasn't a selfie. It wasn't anything innocent. It was a picture of her hand intertwined with someone else's hand. A man's hand. Familiar. Too familiar. A silver ring. A tattoo on the wrist. A tattoo I recognized instantly. Marco. Leo's cousin. The man she said she had ended things with. The man she swore meant nothing now. My chest tightened so hard I dropped my phone. The caption below the photo sent a violent chill down my spine. I missed this. When can we talk? She sent it at 2:06 a.m. Sent it to me by accident. The kind of slip that destroys entire relationships. My heart broke in one clean strike. But then, 3 seconds later, my phone rang. Ava. I didn't pick up. She called again. Again. And again. Finally, I answered. Her voice was frantic, breathless. Ethan, please, don't look at that photo. I already did, I whispered. Silence. Long. Crushing. Devastating. Ava, I said, my voice shaking. Tell me the truth. Tell me why you sent Marco that picture. It's not what you think, she cried. It's exactly what I think. No, she gasped. Ethan, listen, he reached out to me first. I don't care who reached out. I snapped. You said it was over. You said you didn't love him. You said you were honest with me. I was honest. You're still lying. The silence on her end wasn't guilt. It was fear. Not fear of losing me. Fear of being exposed. Ava, I whispered, my throat closing. Are you still seeing him? No, she screamed. I swear to God. You sent him a photo holding hands. That's from months ago. Why would you send it now? She choked on her breath. I could hear her breaking apart. Because, she whispered. I wanted to see if he still cared. The world stopped. Everything, the lights, the air, the walls around me, felt unreal. You wanted to see if he still cared? Yes, she sobbed. But not because I want him back. I needed to know that I wasn't replaceable. That I wasn't nothing. That's someone still. That's not insecurity, I said quietly. That's betrayal. She fell silent. Ava, you used me. No. You played with me. No, please. You lied to me. Ethan, I love you. You love being loved. Her breath hitched. A sound like something inside her collapsing. I ended the call. But the real shock came 30 seconds later. Marco messaged me. And what he told me next. What he revealed. What he admitted. That was the moment my heart not only broke. It burned. Because Ava's betrayal wasn't just emotional. It was far, far worse. My phone buzzed again. This time, not Ava, but Marco. For a second, I considered ignoring it. But something inside me said answer it. So I did. His voice came through low, shaky. Ethan, we need to talk. Ava just told me she messed up, and I think you deserve the truth. All of it. My blood went cold. What truth? A heavy breath on the other side. The truth she didn't tell you. The part she left out. I felt my entire world tilt. Marco, what are you talking about? He swallowed hard. Ava didn't just play both of us. She didn't just lie. She didn't just manipulate. Then he said the one thing that changed everything. She and I were still together when she started seeing you. I felt my knees go weak. What do you mean? I whispered. We weren't broken up. Not really. We had a fight. A bad one. And she left for a few days. I thought she needed space. She told you it was over. I covered my mouth with my hand, trying not to fall apart. But she wasn't done with me. Ethan, Marco continued. She still came over. Still said she loved me. Still promised she'd work things out. My chest felt like it was filled with broken glass. And then suddenly, Marco added, she stopped coming. She started acting distant. I knew something was wrong. A pause. That's when I found her messages with you. My stomach twisted. You knew? I knew, he said quietly. But I didn't confront you. Because I thought, maybe she found someone better. Maybe she moved on. He exhaled shakily. But when I asked her directly, she said it was nothing. She said you were just a friend. She said I was overthinking. I felt the word friend stab me like a knife. So she lied to both of us. I said, barely breathing. Yes, completely. I shut my eyes, feeling the final piece of denial collapse. Ethan, Marco said softly, I'm not saying this to hurt you. I'm saying it so you stop hurting yourself. She wasn't choosing either of us. She was choosing the attention. I didn't respond. I couldn't. But Marco wasn't done. And there's more. Something you need to know. My heart dropped again. What now? He hesitated, then finally said it. You weren't the only two. The world froze. What? There was someone else before you. And someone she was talking to after you. She cycles people when she's scared of being alone. She keeps backups. You, me, we weren't the first. And we wouldn't have been the last. Every word hit like a punch. I could barely stand. That night, Ava came to my apartment. She knocked for 15 minutes. Cried. Begged. Said my name like it was the last thing she had. I didn't open the door. Not because I hated her. Not because I didn't care. But because I finally understood. Some people don't break your heart on purpose. They break it because they're broken themselves. And no amount of love can fix someone who refuses to face their own damage. Through the door, she whispered. I never wanted to hurt you. I just didn't know what love was supposed to feel like. I leaned against the wall, tears falling silently. Goodbye, Ava, I whispered back. She stopped crying. And after a long, painful silence, I heard her footsteps fade away. Months passed. I healed slowly. Some days I missed her. Some days I hated her. Most days, I simply accepted the truth. Ava taught me the most painful lesson of my life. That love is not about intensity. It's about honesty. A beautiful lie feels safer than an ugly truth. But a lie can kill trust. And once trust is dead, nothing survives. I eventually moved on. Leo apologized. Marco and I never became friends, but we understood each other. And Ava? She disappeared from our lives. The way people do when they're running from themselves. Sometimes, late at night, I still wonder if she ever found someone she didn't feel the need to test, manipulate, or push away. But then I remind myself, her healing was never my responsibility. My responsibility was to walk away from the person who loved me in all the wrong ways. So I could someday find someone who loved me in the right ones.